Our scriptures bear witness to faithless contortion. We've got life givers protesting about their rights to abortion. We've got barren land and pesticides filling our earth's portion. They've got power and wealth from our people's deprivation and extortion. And this was all conducted consciously with no compassion or remorse. 1757, they knew they struck gold and halted their excursion. Cue the beginning of 200 years of violent incursion. Businessmen to beggars, justice's perversion. 30% of world trade to importing because of subversion. 30 million Indians dying from British inertion. The vulnerable and helpless targeted for conversion. 1931, a shaheed became a shaheed. It's worth our discursion. In sacrifice he committed, for us his immersion. 1947, driving the British out, or we left in their version. No straight lines in Bharat, the surgeon's incision. Separation of neighbours, the blood of brothers' submersion. 2017, history is written by its victors, so we were never taught the horrors of this version. 2017, are our people not yet due their reapportion? Will the liars and deceivers face its reversion? Will the lies and deceit face its inevitable interversion? Reparations for a nation whose partition saw the largest mass migration in human history. While 100,000 became refugees, 14 million remain a mystery. 1.5 million of us with a responsibility to recollect. 1.5 million British Indians whose homeland was under threat. 125 billion pounds our forefathers are owed in war debt. Do we really have the heart to chase Western wealth and forget? Justice starts with us. How much more needs to happen before we have enough evidence to kick up a fuss? Treachery, butchery, the alienation of our own. Our children will reap the fruits of the seeds which we've sown, unless Unilever poison all the crops which we've grown. With mercury for a murky creed, that's how Churchill would have put it. Beastly bunch with a beastly religion, that's exactly how he said it. We had atheists with unmoving faith, Shaheeda with twisted fate, the lucky one was his name. Bhagavala, your sacrifice won't go in vain. He said every tiny molecule of ash moved with his heat like a wave. He said he is such a lunatic that he is free even when he's in jail. He showed us clearly what it means to be brave, like the olden days when we cared for universal freedom. 116 days he fasted for equal rights in prison. Socialist views, equality was his vision. He stood with pride in court even when his death sentence was given. His mother wept just a few days after Lori. Dulce et decorum est pro patria mori. In times of oppression, such heroes rise naturally. But what use are these wars if we don't do anything in times of peace? A great shaheed once said, no one can do justice to anybody without the motive being released. If we ignore the motive, generals and officers are judged as murderers and thieves. Law is supposed to be for man, but for man we must now bereave. Justice wasn't served to our martyrs, justice wasn't served to our man. Justice wasn't served to our mothers, justice wasn't served to our land. No monetary return will clear the colour of our bloody rivers, comfort the pain of our mourning sisters, cleanse the pollution of the soil which quivers. But it is our duty to recollect, lest we forget. May the compassion which carried Bhagat Singh from Lahore to the site of Jallianwala Bagh course through our veins. May the strength to support political truth fill our hearts and brains. May the sacrifices of our ancestors be honoured again and again. May the responsibility we have to light up and pave our way to more truth, more unity, more peace. Shaheed Bhagat Singh's last words were a summons for justice. Inqilab Zindabad.
Namaste everyone, and welcome to Vichar Manthan. The young lady who just said that spoken word, her name is Vidhu Sharma. Vidhuji has a BA in English from the University of Loughborough. She has been a teacher and is currently works for a business publishing company. And as you can see, she has quite a gift and talent for words. So please, can you give another round of applause for Vidhu? So once again, namaste, welcome to Vichar Manthan. My name is Sachin Nanda and I am the National Coordinator for Vichar Manthan activity. What is Vichar Manthan? This is the first Vichar Manthan in this region, in London West, and it gives me so much pleasure that we are starting off this particular chapter with this particular topic. Vichar Manthan is a voluntary non-partisan platform for earnest discussion, exploration, debate, and study. Vichar Manthan aims to have 7 centres around the UK. We have 2 permanent chapters so far, in the Midlands and in London. We plan to have 4 chapters in Greater London, this being the first in London West. And each of the centres is ran by a group of volunteers. And the idea behind Vichar Manthan is to discuss earnestly the challenges facing contemporary society, whether that be in Britain or internationally, but we approach that particular challenge through a Hindu lens. And by Hindu, we mean that civilizational perspective, that civilizational movement that we call Hindu. Vichar Manthan has been around for, in this format, for over 4 years. And as I said, we have chapters in the Midlands and in London. This only happens because people support us. So I am so glad and happy that so many of you have been able to come. Before we start tonight's event, just some housekeeping. We're not planning a fire alarm drill, so if a fire alarm does go off, please assume that it's real. And one of our ushers at the door will guide you out, and there'll be a congregation area outside. Toilets. The men's toilets is through these double doors and on your right. And the women's toilets are, if you go out of that door, through the hall, right at the other end, are the women's toilets there.